Check's pretty much done.
Alright, guys, and here we are again for episode 36 of State of the Gathering. I am Hand from Above, joined with my good friends, Nanman and Brandon. How are you guys tonight?
Good
Yeah. Stuff, things.
Stuff
stuff.
and things?
Mm.
Well, stuff
Usual.
and things is always good, but you know what's even better?
Nothing.
Talking about Magic for
Yes.
a few hours a night.
Yeah.
I suppose.
And-
It's also pretty good.
And we do have a good amount of stuff to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly, Conspiracy still has yet to be fully...
Monday.
Yeah.
Monday is the day that we will
Is
be
it?
seeing the full conspiracy spoilers, according to
It's usually
Rosewater.
Friday.
Yeah, usually it's like right... The always funny thing is, oh, look, it's after the podcast. Oh, there's all the spoilers.
Yeah.
Literally, like, I can look at every spoiler about an hour and a half after.
Yeah.
So,
Sadly, Mark Rosewater was saying that full spoilers would be going up on Monday,
okay. Usually it would have been last week Friday.
right?
So they're like...
They're behind.
They're behind.
Really? Yeah.
So,
So I guess
for the new
Thursday we
people...
do, like, a full... Or not like a full review, but, like, a
We'll-
look at what it
we'll-
seems like.
Talk a bit about it. Yeah.
So, for the new
So-
people that are watching on YouTube, because we do have a YouTube channel now, guys. YouTube.com/State of the Gathering.
Eh.
So, everything we do now will be going up there. Woohoo! Um,
Eh.
So that's also a fun thing to see. So we always talk about our weeks. And we generally always start with Brandon, so why deviate from that? So Brandon, how was your week?
You know, bittersweet, we'll go with. So essentially I played Standard twice, and I was 4-1 both times, so I did well, but I didn't win, so I didn't get a playmat, which was sad.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, I was just playing, like, my Jund midrange list. The Friday event, I think so I didn't win a single, or I didn't lose a single game until the finals, and then I went 0-2 against a friend of mine. I should have beat him in the first game. I made a really big mistake. I used my hero's downfall on that tormented hero instead of using an abrupt decay when he had Exava out, and I just it completely slipped my mind. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna use all my mana, downfall that. Like, no way, I needed to downfall the other guy and abrupt decay that.
Whoops.
So I lost to Exava because Exava is very powerful, and
Yeah.
if you don't kill her, she kills you.
Mhm.
So it was
That's generally how it
unfortunate.
goes with Exava.
It is generally how it goes with Exava. So that didn't go so well, and then in game 2 he just kind of ran me over. I don't think I could have played game 2 differently. So it was kind of like I talked about it with him after. I was like, oh, Eric, because he was a good friend of mine. Like, we know each other pretty well. Oh man, Eric, I think I just needed to use that other removal spell. I was like, yep, you sure did. So, it didn't go terribly well. And then game day, I lost, only to the guy who won the tournament. I played him in round 2. He was playing like a Boros deck, and I just kind of did draw lands. So,
Those are kind of key to winning.
Mhm.
yeah, he also...
Because we don't have
boarded-
Manaless Dredge anymore, so...
No, that's not a thing. I'm not playing that right now. So he boarded in Anger of the God versus a deck that has literally one target, and it was Sylvan Carrington. I was like, this is you don't even think about that. Anger of the Gods is one of the worst cards you could board in versus me, and he did it, and he got me with it.
Wow.
Because I really was relying on a Sylvan Carrington for mana after I drew 2 lands, so I was sitting on 3 mana, and he got me the Anger, and I was like, well, I mean, that was a terrible card to board in, but he got me with it, so good job. This it's only good if I'm mana screwed, so I was a little miffed. Yeah, but yeah, I was close. I felt like I could have won game day. I felt pretty confident. Like, everyone else I played, I don't think it was even close. I just kind of destroyed them.
Nice.
So- What are you gonna do? Then I lost to Pat again.
Oh no.
He got me.
So Pat's the overall winner. Then it's 2-1 now.
2-1.
Yeah, he's up 2-1. Next time I'm gonna get the deck list as scavenging is, and he has to play Dredge. So
Hey,
that'll be sweet.
They were... If you guys don't know what we're talking about, we have a versus we like to do. It's a weekly show.
Super
we're-
competitive.
It's a fun show that we talk about decks and teach you guys some more, and you guys get to see different archetypes of what's in standard right now.
Yep.
And we played Green Black Constellation, which was Brandon's. Dreadstellation, as he's calling it.
Yes. Everyone is. Come on.
And I was playing this Naya Planeswalkers aggro deck. Whatever.
Yeah, call it Naya Walkers, because it's not an aggro deck. I don't understand.
We'll go with Naya Walkers.
Yeah. That's what they called it on the SCG game, so...
It was... I'm not gonna lie. They said it was not a deck that synergizes well, but holy god. There are components of that deck that synergize ridiculously well. Ask Brandon how it felt to have Tristani out and Perforos out with an Elizabeth.
I mean, the Tristani didn't even matter. It was just Elspeth +1 is now deal 6 damage to your face and make 3 1/1s. I think the Tristani was probably the worst card in that deck, unless you have Archangel out, but I don't know if that's really worth it. Yeah, if you have Archangel, Tristani, and Elspeth, sure, that's sweet. You gain 3 separate instances of life, so it's, put 3 counters on all your guys.
Yep.
Sick. Luckily that never happened. It could have.
I screwed up. It would have happened. So.
Yeah, so I did that. I didn't really do anything else. I didn't play any Magic Online or, no sick drafts, just kind of the normal stuff. So, yeah.
Alright, Naman, did you actually play Magic this week?
I did!
Yeah!
Oh my god!
So, I was really upset because I didn't get to play in game day, because I was up in New York, visiting my chickadee family, because her grandmother turned 70, so we surprised her for her birthday and stuff like that. So
hey, happy birthday,
AFK,
Grandma!
Yeah, so I was AFK all weekend. What was that? Huh?
Did she recognize you? That's the question.
Yes, she did. But so it was not too bad missing out on that because I was able to play in our modern event on Tuesday this week. I was running Infect again because the Merfolk deck is not yet finished, and that one I just like to have fun with Infect and kill people. So made top 4 again, so I was happy with it. I'm pretty much very comfortable with every matchup now with Infect. It's some days, some games work out really well, and other times not so much. Like Liliana shuts down my deck hardcore. If I can't have anything in my hand, then I can't really combo off. If I can't keep any creatures on the field, then I can't combo off. So it sucks. Liliana's pretty good. So I might try to put in a 3rd Abrupt Decay in my sideboard because right now I only run 2.
Yeah.
But we'll see. So and then my Merfolk deck is almost done. My buddy has our Mutavault right now because he's running them in Standard, and so I'm going to be stealing those from him soon to put into this, and then I just need to finish up the sideboard for it, and I'm going to start playing with some Merfolk too. So we'll have 2 awesome decks for Modern. But yeah, that was basically my week, is just playing Modern and building stuff in Modern.
Modern is a sweet format.
So. Modern is a great format. So, we'll go to me. Friday night, I played some Modern with Affinity, and we only did 3 rounds, and I went 2-1.
Yeah.
I didn't have a sideboard because it's a brand new deck that, still has no sideboard yet. So I wanted to run it just to see how the deck would do straight out without a sideboard. It just runs people over.
Mm-hmm.
I love by turn 5, I'm literally won the game. Well, turn 4, I've either won the game or I haven't. There's no, he might win the... No.
You're just playing the Swarm version?
Oh, yeah.
There's 2 versions. There's one, the Steel Overseer. Is that what it's called?
I have Steel Overseer. I'll run 4 of him.
Oh.
But my goal is to basically run you over before that ever happens.
Interesting.
I'm interested to see this deck list.
Yeah,
You'll
he's
see it once I'm
halfway
done.
in between. Usually there's two.
Yeah, there's 2
lists.
different lists, and
One is mid-rangey, and one is kind of just pure aggro.
I've combined them.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty standard, Pat. Just like, these two decks are good but different. Now they're the same.
But they were fun. It was a lot of fun. I literally played a red-white control or blue-white control, and he just scooped both games because literally, like, my first turn, I had 5 creatures on the board. Both games.
I thought Blue-White had a decent matchup versus Affinity.
If you beat them by turn 3, they don't.
Well, yeah. If you beat anyone by turn 3, they don't have a good matchup.
Yeah. So that happened. Game day, I did not get to play. Sadly, we had 10 guys, and I wasn't going to put an 11th in. It was a small one because Memorial Day weekend, not many people were around.
Makes sense.
So.
We had a really big game day. It was like 35 people.
Wow, nice.
Just like
normally we have that number.
It's a little shop. It's not. It's a lot.
But normally we have that number or greater, and it just with that weekend and there was a Pro Tour qualifier PTQ.
Right. Right.
10 miles away. And then so it was the perfect storm of we just didn't get a lot. Which I'm fine with. I played red-white control against a few of the guys there. My red-white-blue control, and I absolutely dominated them. So I knew I would have done very well in it. So other than that, that was Saturday. Did the Versus video with Brandon. It was a lot closer than the week before. Episode 2, I kind of just stomped on.
Okay, so explain to me how that was a stomping one-sided.
It was 4-2. It was 4-2.
Yeah, it was 4-2.
This one we traded games pretty evenly.
The difference was 1 game.
I don't care. I don't care. So other than that, just a lot of good news going on this week. Magic Online got some updates. So why don't we get into the news bit so we can talk about something that's happening very, very soon for Magic Online.
Results!
And I'm looking forward to that. June 16th is the drop date, so we'll talk about...
Oh, we're still doing that? Okay.
We'll talk about Vintage Masters. But we'll
you
talk...
spoiled it.
Sorry.
They didn't know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They had no idea.
That's what you heard. Remember, everyone.
Yes. So, looking forward to that. Well, let's talk about results. Results first. SCG Open was in Somerset, New Jersey, and there was actually, you know what? I was rather surprised with the deck lists that were at the top 8 this time.
I don't remember what it was.
It was actually not like control.
Yeah, it is.
Something. Well, top 4 had 2 Esper controls.
Yeah, so it's like.
But they weren't like. They weren't your regular blue-white. There was no blue-white there.
Yeah, there's 2 Esper control lists.
And a red and an American control.
Yeah. Which was, was happy to see.
The 2 top decks was, kind of awesome. We had a black-white mid-range deck from Charlie Reinhardt.
He's like 16 or something, isn't he?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, this kid's like super young.
Yeah,
and he's been doing super well. Like,
yeah.
He's been placing top 16s and stuff like that, and GPs, and just kind of bouncing around all over the place, doing very, very well for himself.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah,
so
he's
those kids are really good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but his deck is just kind of like weird, but I like it.
Blood Barons.
Well, you had 3 main board Blood Barons, which was awkward. But if you watch the replays,
I don't think it. Yeah, I don't think with how things are looking, I think it's perfectly reasonable to be main boarding.
Oh, with how it is right now, yeah, it's
okay.
okay.
There's so many decks though. What's the problem with it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I see it and I'm just like, oh sweet, he's playing a Blood Baron. I just get to crush that creature. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
Blood Baron, eat Stormbat Dragon.
But we had 4 Desecration Demons, 4 Big Ds, 3 Lifebane Zombies. The Lifebane Zombie choice, I think, in part of how much Jund or Red Green something monsters list there's actually floating out there. or green-white aggro now is starting to gain some, people are trying to push that. Or even, now that we have it, Hexproof has been making its appearance again. So Lifebane Zombie has a lot of decks it can pick from.
Yeah. That card shouldn't be printed. It's like mainboard hate that's good versus too many decks.
Yeah. So you had 3 Pack Rats. The Sin Collector was a weird choice, but I kind of dig it because, nowadays you're probably going to hit something. It's a one of. You cast it on turn 3, turn 4. You're almost guaranteed to get something out of someone's hand.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, even if you miss, it's like, oh.
Even if you miss, it's a free look into their hand.
Yeah, you look at their hand, you get a 2-1. You'd rather play Lifebane Zombie, but... Honestly, I think I would have just gone 4 zombies over the 1 Sin Collector. If you really, the metagame hasn't been super control-oriented or anything, it's been pretty kind of mid-rangey, so I think the Lifebane Zombie is probably better, but I guess he's trying 1. Can't really say it's wrong.
And then 1 Obstinate, 1 Dirty Old Dad.
Legendary, just not 1.
Yeah, only 1 of. 2 Elizabeths, pretty solid. His mana was pretty out of control with 26. Being a mid-range deck, I don't think he wanted to miss a drop, so he ran it. But also, you got to look at he was running 4 Mutavaults, so at any given point, you could actually be hitting a dead drop somewhere.
Yeah, like an off-colored temple.
Yeah.
His mana is super sketchy.
And welcome, Sneaky. Sneaky the Dragon's peeking in on us, so. But other than that, he was running 2 plains, 11 swamps, the full spectrum of Galar Shrine, Temple of Silence, and 1 Temple of Enlightenment. I guess he wanted a little bit more scry to get himself in.
He just wanted his mana to be a little worse. It's like, man, gotta have this plains.
What else can I do to... Yeah.
2 Banishing Lights.
Not in this format.
2 Banishing Lights, 2 Underworld Connections, 2 Bioblights, the Hero's Downfall, of course. Ultimate price is concession of how much green is actually out there.
Yeah. Let's go Stormbat Dragon.
Yeah. 1 Whip. Whip is always a nice thing, especially when you have, they drop a Desecration Demon into your yard, or, Blood Baron into your yard, you can whip it back and do something stupid. Obsidian is another biggie. 4 Thoughtseize. Pithing Needle I've done away with for the most part in my sideboards. They're just too slow. I don't like them. That's the only... if you're getting to that point, you'd rather just... Yeah. 2 more Sin Collectors, 3 Dark Betrayals, a Deicide.
Pithing Needle is kind of a sweet sideboard card for some decks. If you just lose 2 Scavenging Ooze, then maybe that's something you want in your sideboard. Like that Dredge deck. Maybe you just want 2 Pithing Needles. Be like, alright, Scavenging Ooze.
I've always liked Pithing Needle personally, but...
Yeah.
It's good, but it's not great. It's, 3 Doomblades, 2 Drown in Sorrows, and 3 Duress. So he's got basically the full removal package. So...
Yeah, just wants to kill stuff.
Yep, basically to kill stuff. And it actually was the perfect storm of a deck against the second place finisher, who still has yet to shave his beard, Chris Van Meter. So he's still playing his awesome Jund deck that literally has yet to make a change. With
Jund Monsters, let's go.
Yeah.
We're not talking about
Journey
that.
into Nyx, it was Jund Monsters. No change. And you know what? I applaud him because the deck is still that strong.
Yes, good deck.
So.
Deck is good.
Yep. So other than that, we had 2 very different Esper control decks in the top 4.
Ashy.
Yes, the first one was Luis Calenta. Calenta. Sorry, I didn't see the T at the end. And he was running 3 Ashioks in there.
Yes.
Main board.
Dim Ashioks.
This is like hashtag main board or something.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet. 3 of them, even. I've seen 1 every once in a while. They're like, yeah, I'll just hedge a bit. This card's good in a couple matchups. He's like, no, Ashiok's sick. In.
Don't you know?
Yeah. This is also a card we should just all be picking up. I've already started trading for them. at one
Yeah,
playset.
because they're how much are they right now?
$7.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're super
it's
cheap.
a $7 planeswalker.
Yeah, it's a
so.
$21 foil though, which is kind of surprising. That could certainly go up to like 30 in the new standard
Yeah.
after.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
also
I mean,
out.
you're removing things like Rev and all that, so that it could slow down, for all we know, or it could speed up. Ashak's one of those planeswalkers that, if it's a slower format, is great. But I want to leave a hint in everyone's mind that's watching, and that will be watching on YouTube. Jace, Architect of Thought. How cheap was he?
$7.
Yep.
How much is he now?
Well,
Well, no.
He's probably
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
how much did he jump to?
like 20.
40. Yeah, he's
Did he
6.
jump up to 40?
Yeah, he was 40
Yeah.
bucks for a while. Yeah, $6
I
right
know
now.
he was like consistently around 20 for a good long period, but
He was at like $40 when the set first rotated, and everyone's like, "Oh, Jace, I need my Jace, I need Jace." And they're like, "Oh, this Planeswalker sucks. You better trade it while it's $7." Listen, those are the people that you can just take advantage of and not feel bad about it because they're dumb. Like, you don't want to trade Planeswalkers that are in the current set and won't be rotating out. Just not do it.
Yeah.
Just not when they're $7.
I've got my playset of Ashiok.
Let's just Tibble.
I mean, honestly, Ashiok will go back up.
Yeah.
And I can see Ashok being played, and since I'm playing control, Esper I see being strong when everything rotates through. Because Esper, yeah, we're losing Rev, but there's still...
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm a little bit. It's all going to depend on what comes out. Like, we're losing Supreme, we're losing Sphinx's Rev, we're losing, Syncopate, we're losing, a lot of pretty solid stuff that we see. Detention Spheres. So I don't know. It's really going to rely heavily on what comes out because we're losing a lot of split color cards.
So, like, if they don't print some sick card in Cons of Tarkir or M15, they're going to have to be, like, the control decks are going to be bug. They're not even going to play white anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you just need to be able to draw cards, and the best card draw right now is Courser Crufix. So, so people are going to go with, maybe even Eidolon Blossoms will be in the control decks. Like, another way they could go is, like, Bant. A friend of mine played, like, this Bant controlled list with just a bunch of enchantments, and he went Pillow Fort. And I'm like, yeah, this is the future of control. Cool.
I mean, it's one of those things, so... It's definitely one of those things. Other than that, really nothing big in that list. The other list was running just no Aetherling at all. Not even in the side.
Well, I mean, Esper controlled third place ran one main board.
Yeah. Then the fourth place one ran.
And I think the red-white one had it in it.
Yes.
Or I could be thinking of a different red-white one.
People just want to be bad people in Mill.
Oh, but it's so much fun.
Yeah, man.
So much fun.
Nothing really big that jumped out as, oh my god, this is a new deck.
Like, I want to talk about Fabiano's list for a second. So, this is a list that you don't play in an aggro format. You play it in a really controlling format because he's got 3 Thought Seizes main board. Really, you don't want those versus the aggro decks. You're just taking damage for no reason. And he's got the Jace Memory at main board. It's better than Aetherling in a lot of situations if you're playing versus control. Also, he's just not got a lot of stuff to stop him from dying.
Basically, what his deck list was conceding that there was a lot of blue-white the last few weeks. Blue-white something. So he was prepping for that.
Yeah. So I just, that's relevant to point out. This is where the metagame is headed as a format, so if you want to play something that is able to deal with these decks, go for it. Now's a really good time. I think that's why John Monsters is doing really well. They have a lot of game versus these sweet decks, like the kind of mid-rangey decks. Also, Mono Black can definitely be dominated here, so if you're not playing Mono Black right now, you don't have a reason to switch, so don't bother.
True story.
Yep.
Other than that, let's just jump right to Legacy for them. So in Somerset, we had 2 decks that we're pretty familiar with. In the top 2, a red, white, blue Delver.
Yeah, it's a blue-white list, splashing red for landing.
Yeah, they're. I mean, for like lightning bolt and stuff like that. So.
Red Elemental Blast on the sideboard.
Yep.
There's nothing crazy going on here.
Nope.
2 True Name Nemesis main board. This is like the White Delver list, the only ones that play True Name Nemesis all that much, so it's interesting to see. That card is one that everybody was like, oh, it's gonna be $80. It's like 25 right now. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, it's 25 bucks.
Yep.
I really was tempted to get rid of mine when they were 50. I didn't do it. Now I kind of regret it, but I don't know. Interesting to see its fluctuation based on the metagame. Like when Delver's really popular, it's not.
Right.
When we go back to the control decks being really good, it's gonna be like 60 bucks again. So, or I'm hoping anyway.
Other than that, nothing really big in that list was different. Then we had a Shardless Bug deck that took second. And I do love Shardless Bug. It's a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I cannot afford to build Shardless Bug.
Really? What are you missing? Like bios and shit?
Yeah,
Yeah. Some lands.
some of the lands.
Do you have Force of Wills?
Yep.
Alright. Do you have Goyce? Yeah, you have Goyce.
Yeah.
You have Jays. Yeah, I guess it's just the lands then. Lands
Yep.
are really expensive.
I mean, I have a lot of them, but unfortunately, like the tropicals. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Trops are never going to reprint it, but the fetch lands are going to get reprinted hopefully soon.
Yep.
Um,
Probably
but
in a year.
So this list, not a lot is intense. So one thing to look at is always the amount of Lilianas they're running is 2 here. Just means that he's less about the matchups where Liliana's really good. So it's not a lot of control. That's where you really want Liliana. Same thing. Like Liliana right now is a lot of times you play her, you edict, and then she dies. Not that great, but still can be awesome if you hit like the blue or red list. So they're playing 2 because they definitely want it, and then 2 Jace, same kind of thing.
Yep.
If you're in a more controlling format or more controlling metagame, you want more Jace.
Yeah, very much so.
Yep.
You know what had me laughing hysterically?
12
Uh, well, there's 2 decks that kind of just had me giggling. One's right up Nanman's is a blue-green Infect deck.
Nice.
combo.
Yep. Oh, it's very much a combo deck.
Well, yeah, it's Infect.
Yeah.
Better be combo or he's not doing it right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat you down with 2 or 1/1 Infect guys.
Yeah.
Yeah! Glistener Elves to the face.
And
Yeah,
Bladed
it looks,
Agent.
it looks really,
So.
really solid of other Legacy Infect decks that I've seen.
Yeah. And it performed very well. I got to see it a little bit, so.
You can like crops rotation for a Dryad Arbor.
Yep.
And Invigorate. And then hit you for 5 non-infect. Yes.
Yeah.
That was sarcasm. You don't do that. I'm actually not sure what the Dryad Arbor is for.
Then the other deck, of course, was
Liliana.
Merfolk.
Yeah,
Lily. Okay.
I've been thinking about picking one up for my deck too.
Yeah, that makes sense because it's like a land that just.
It's the same thing with why Enchantment. Those decks run it.
Right. I mean, is there anything else like crazy here now?
No, there
A lot of
was
the
nothing.
impact.
No, it's like I said, it's pretty much just a straightforward
Yeah.
for how the Infect gets played in.
He's got 4 dazes. That's a lot. 2 Berserk, usually it's just like 1.
Mhm.
But then, of course,
Yeah.
then we had Merfolks, which is the other Nanman list.
Woohoo!
And this is a very just nice Merfolk list.
Yeah.
Oh, Corehelm Commander?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's back. He's back.
Is he never here?
I mean, you saw it in a couple of the
Yeah.
Rip.
Merfolk decks for a while, and then it's sort of fallen off, and now it looks like
I mean, the
Some
card is
players-
clearly very powerful.
are
Oh, yeah.
deciding to put back in.
Yeah. Huh. That's insane.
Yep.
I did not expect.
I love Kosi Trickster. I love that he has put it in there. I run one of in my deck just because
Oh yeah.
it's nobody else seems to run it, and I don't know why. And it's like, come on now, it's so good.
Turn 1, all your fetches are bad.
Yeah. Now go
Yeah,
ahead,
man.
get some lands. That's fine.
Yeah.
I got no problem.
Hit you for 8. Island Walk. And seeing as every single deck in this format plays islands, it's just unblockable.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty sweet.
So, I mean, it makes me laugh pretty hard. It was a great list to watch. It was a lot of fun. I mean, it was just especially the game. I forget who he played. But like you guys said, there's a lot of fetch lands, and Kosi Trickster was out right there. And the guy really looked and went, "What?"
mean, there's other ways to shuffle your decks here in that format. Like,
Yeah.
it's not just fetches, so
Yeah.
that's certainly pretty relevant.
Yeah.
Him versus, like, a veteran explorer deck is just dumb. You're shuffling for fetches, you're shuffling for explorer. You've already got 12 islands. You're like, yeah, I'll go get an island, thanks. Wow, you're so nice. Thank you. I've got 12 of these basic things, man. They're pretty good. Other than that, like, is there anything weird here?
No.
No.
Nope. So
Oh,
let's move on
except
to the next item.
Lowin. Dude,
Next
like,
item of
look at the
business.
sideboard. We need to talk about Lowin, because I don't know what this card does.
You
When
don't know what-
Lowin, Celifed Empress comes into play, return all blue creatures you control those on his hand you can play.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What? Is this for, like, the mirror?
Yeah. It's the
Okay.
mirror. Anything that plays blue that has blue creatures.
There's not very many.
Yeah, but you never know. You could be facing a mirror Merfolk.
Yeah, that's what I
You
mean.
gotta be ready. Super secret sideboard
Do,
tech.
do you
Seems
know
really
what
sick in the mirror.
is blue?
I mean, yeah, there's like Delver.
Exactly. You put this out
Trinity
against
Nemesis.
Delver, and they look at you and go, "Oh my
Snapcaster.
god."
Yeah, I mean, they just burn it then. They're
Yeah.
like, alright, then you build that thing. I don't know if it's that great versus Delver.
It
So
doesn't
just-
matter. It still returns it all to their hand. So if they flipped a Delver or whatever,
Oh, your opponent's control. I thought it was all
yeah,
yours.
no,
Yeah, this makes way more sense then.
Yeah.
It's also like an answer for Trinity Nemesis, so.
Yep.
I get it now. I thought it was all your own creatures. That's
Nope.
really dumb. What are you gonna draw more cards of Silver Guild depth? Like, come on.
So moving on, Grand Prix Atlanta. Since we just had a Pro Tour Atlanta, they thought they'd just stay another week and do a Grand Prix.
Makes sense.
And the Canadians have run over the Grand Prix, shall we say.
Okay.
John Stern taking first. So.
It was more like two Canadians did really well, and I wanted to point it out, so I threw that in there.
Well, no, I had to make fun of it because the Canadians did take first.
Okay.
So, and then Sean McLaren took
He's eighth.
fourth.
Or he's in the top 8. Like,
Yeah, he was top
somewhere
8.
5th through 8th.
So, really solid showing. It was a limited format, so blue-green took first versus white-red. So,
Yeah, John Stern beat Tomohiro Saito.
Yep.
You probably him for cheating, but he is back on the righteous path and doing really well at Grand Prix and stuff. He's really good now.
Yep.
Like, just watching him draft and everything, they had a POV. And it's just like,
Yeah.
some of the decisions he made seemed odd at the time, and then you look at his deck after, and you're like, yep, I get it.
Yep.
I understand. Show me the way.
so I mean, honestly, it is really great. Other than that, really, it's just a limited format. So, I didn't check. Unfortunately, I didn't check it out. I was watching the SCG stuff. So, 'cause
Yeah, I watched all of this. They have it all up on YouTube, so I watched
I'll
everything.
probably watch a lot of it because,
Yeah.
you know.
Was
So,
it-
speaking of the Grand Prix, that means rankings have changed, and Sean McLaren now in the top 8, moving up 5 spots to 7th.
Oh, he was 12th, yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So Reed Duke pretty much got a lock on first place. I don't really see
Yeah.
that changing at all.
Jeremy Desani has to win a Pro Tour, and there aren't any more for him to win.
Sorry.
So I think if he goes to every single Grand Prix and wins all of them, he could do it. Because he gets like a point to win now.
Yeah.
So he's already hit his cap.
Yeah, he's capped.
It's not going to work out too well for him.
The other big movement was Yui Watanabe moving up 2 spots from 14th to 12th. Chris Fennell moving up from 18th to 15th. Huey moving up 5 spots from 25th to 20th. And then Raphael Leve moving up 3 spots, 22nd to 19th. So
It's Levy.
Levy,
Yes.
I go with the other pronounce. But other than that,
He
no
may
one,
be French, but that
Yes.
Y thing still goes E.
whatever, whatever. So other than that, the top 6 did nothing. No one moved anywhere.
Yeah, they're
So, and they're pretty.
Top
I
two's
mean, like I
not
say,
moving
Reed
for a
Duke,
while.
pretty well set.
Yeah. Numero uno.
Probably going to be Player of the Year.
So other than that, moving
Just
on to how they're going to set up Grand Prix buys.
Yeah. So actually, I looked into this. I don't know if you guys have it all. Do you know what's the changes?
I did not get a chance to look into the changes. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, I've been.
Was this
I'll just-
announced today?
I'll just go ahead and take over this part. Then.
Yeah,
So
go
essentially, right now it's per season. So I think it's like 5 or 6 months or something. You get to accumulate Planeswalker points,
Sure.
and then if you don't use them soon enough, it switches over to the next season, and you get the last 2 seasons. You can use either one of them if you build up enough points. It's really confusing. It's kind of silly. What they're doing is they're just making it so every year your Planeswalker points rotate out at a certain time, so you can only use the ones from the past year, and you just keep all of them. So instead of being really worried, it's like, oh man, I gotta go to this Grand Prix, use my buys. Now it's just, okay, I've been accumulating points all this last year. I can use all of them. It's much simpler.
Yep.
And
it's a lot simpler, and they've said it pretty well. So
to get one buy, you're gonna need 1,300 Planeswalker points, so a lot more. But again, you have longer to get them. And for 2 buys, you need 2,250. For 3 buys, you need to be in the Hall of Fame. So.
Yep.
Which I think is
or be platinum, I guess.
Yeah, you have to be at least pro status essentially.
Yep.
Yeah. They'll also give you $2,500 for showing up if you're platinum, so that's a good thing to be. Appearance fees are useful.
Yes.
So it's just a lot easier to get them, and people don't.
I don't know. I personally like playing the early rounds in GPs.
Yeah.
Because you get to see some weird decks. I guess if you're like, I don't want to play against those weird decks, but I like seeing those, like the homebrews and the stuff that, it adds a little bit of variety to the GP.
It also lets me shake people's hands and stuff. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
That's true.
Hey, I'm famous now. Didn't you hear?
Oh. No.
Nope.
I did not.
Yep.
Yeah, we missed that part. Does that mean more people are gonna watch?
Right.
Slowly but surely. Yep.
Right.
Sweet then. Get all the famous.
Get all the famous.
All the famous.
No. It's just I'm joking. But anyways.
Oh, okay. I thought like someone might have come up to you and be like, "Man, I saw you on your show." I'd be like,
no, that actually has happened once before.
Oh, that's cool.
But not from this show, but back when I ran UR.
Oh yeah.
I got hip a few times. They're going, "Hey, you're that guy hand from above from UR Gaming." I'm like, in a random Best Buy.
Oh.
And I'm like, yeah.
Sure am.
They're like, oh, dude, I love your broadcast and stuff. They're like, thanks. I'm like, oh, thanks.
All right,
like, I've never knew how to act, so.
Let's move on.
Anyways, moving on.
Actually, they're not.
No, we're moving on to online, Magic Online and their events. They're doing giant thank yous, basically, for the people that have QP points, 35 or more, for the seasons, I guess, the MOCS seasons. During December, January, February, March.
So, like, if you had 35 in Season 1, you get to play June 8th. You had 35 in Season 2, you get to play June 22nd.
Yep. So they have the dates up there. They all start at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So it would be noon Eastern. So.
Yep. That's the one. So, yeah, kind of early.
Yep, a little early, but there's zero ticket events, and they're supposed to be giant thank yous.
Yeah, I mean, if you're qualified to play, I don't know, it'd be fun to play in them, but I guess I don't have any QPs for any of those seasons, so I don't think I can do it.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Next bit of news. Moving on, as we've talked about conspiracy, and we were going to talk about conspiracy tonight and do like a half and half Vintage Masters conspiracy. But conspiracy has yet to be fully spoiled.
Not until Monday.
Not till Monday. But a little bit of conspiracy news to whet your guys' palate. Conspiracy is basically, Wizards has announced, with all these new conspiracy cards, they're not going to be allowed in any of the sanctioned formats.
Right, and that's those like Vanguard essential cards, like the cards that start out of play. So like the rest of the conspiracy cards are still good. Yeah. Essentially, just
they're legal in Type 1.
Yeah, these are basically like your hero abilities, essentially your hero cards from if you played Theros and stuff.
Yep.
I mean, it's pretty obvious why. It's like, if these are allowed, every single legacy deck would get all of them.
Yeah.
Because, now my Delver's tap for mana, and there's no opportunity cost to adding that. Cool! so they can't have that in Legacy or Vintage. I think it wouldn't have been okay in Commander either, so if by default, if something's banned in Vintage, it's banned in Commander as well. That's how they set that up, which is cool. But even if they hadn't, I think they would have banned them in Commander as well, because again, these would be so expensive. Like, the Conspiracy cards, because they're not printed as much as normal cards, they're not a limited print run or anything, but people are going to buy less of them.
Yeah.
So, since they'd be less, and every single Commander player would want from one set, at least, that they would use for all their decks, they'd just get really expensive, so...
Yep.
Seems like a good reason. Also, they changed the game a lot. Like, if you just play, 94 card Commander decks, that changes the format a lot.
Yes.
So, definitely not something that they can let happen. I'm really glad that they did that. A friend of mine was certain that they would let them play.
No, I said no right when I saw them.
Yeah.
Moving on, we have the Cube has returned to Magic Online. The MCOS May promo is a Bayou, and the MOPR May event promo is a Painseer.
Unfortunately, the mocks are not up yet, so you won't be getting your Bayous.
Right.
Yay!
Shit.
It is what it
Hey
is.
guys, if you did win a Mox, which you're not writing, you get a Bayou!
But what's cool is they have put in some flashback drafts that we're going to run simultaneously.
Yeah.
May 28th to June 4th, Kamigawa block.
Yeah.
And then June 4th to June 11th, Dark Ascension and Innistrad from the Innistrad block.
That, I think
excited.
we'll probably have to draft.
Yeah, right?
I want to do some Innistrad. That's still just my favorite draft format. It's a lot better than Theros. Theros is good, probably better than RTR, but Innistrad, that's like when what's that Hawk? The 2/3 Flash guy is like one of the premier cards in your format, and a lot of times that isn't the greatest. It's a sweet format because I've set it up that way.
Yep.
But,
now let's move on, because I want to do about, I'd say 45 minutes of this.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know anything about Vintage Masters.
Well,
so this is all
okay.
Yeah, I don't know about 45 minutes of it. We'll see how much we
I know, like
talk
10.
about.
We'll talk about it, because really what I want to talk about is a lot of people know the cards. They know them from Commander, or just seeing them around, or whatever might it be, or even seeing Vintage, or whatever might it, whatever these,
Sure.
wherever you've seen these cards.
My pity if you're watching Vintage.
But I'm just saying, you've seen these cards, so I'm not going to go into depth of what the card does and why it's such a great card. I want to go in and talk to you guys about when you go sit down on Magic Online and go to draft this set. What should you be looking for?
Power 9.
Well, I mean,
Balance.
that's a dead giveaway.
Right.
Guys, is Balance
that's
good? Is that card good? Not sure.
But, I mean, okay. I'm talking like white. When you look at white cards, a lot of the white cards are stupidly good. But there's a lot of good land destruction cards in white that they've reprinted. Like Balance or Armageddon. So
Both
you can...
completely different decks.
They do, but you can actually run them in
No, you
kind of...
can't.
I've actually ran them in the same
No, you
deck.
don't.
Yes. They're funny.
There's no artifact rant deck in this format.
Zip it.
This isn't Cube.
But then there's like... You can run really just stupidly powerful cards, or white is just one of those things you can kind of like add a little bit of everything. It's your extra set, like I like to call white. It can't stand on its own like blue.
I like that they had some shadow creatures in here.
Yes. Shadow creatures are great to see. Really what a lot of people are going to be going towards, and Vintage Masters is just known for it. Well, Vintage is how much blue can I shove into a deck and just win in 2 seconds?
High Tide, yes.
High Tide. So what you're going to see in blue is a lot of really strong cards, like Ancestral Recall or Brainstorm. Or Circular Logic. Or look, there's Counterspell or Control Magic. Fact or Fiction, Force of Will.
I mean,
Future
we can
Slight
name
is in
sweet
there.
blue cards all day. Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
With them?
Basically, what you want is you want to either build a control deck with blue and just have like 1 or 2 win cons with it. And blue, you can draft it that way very easily. With a lot of card draw, you can get there, and if you get lucky enough to pull Mr. Jace the Mind Sculptor, you go blue all day. Now, I know in a draft, generally you just don't get one color. It just doesn't happen. In Vintage Masters, blue's going to pair up really well, from what I can see, with white or red.
Or black.
Black does have
Storm.
some... Yes. With Cabal Ritual and just other stupid... How they actually are reprinting Cabal Ritual and Dark Ritual is just retarded.
I'm gonna tell you the deck that I'm most excited to make.
Which one?
It's
Reanimator.
No, it's in green.
Can't believe it. What? What is it?
We've got some great stuff now since they've added in that deranged hermit.
Oh, good lord.
The Rock!
You can do it. It's actually, I was going to talk about that.
Squirrels!
Squirrels!
You can actually go nutty with squirrels.
Are you on Squirrel Tribal?
Oh yeah, why not?
You
All
can,
day.
Like, I need to give you a high five at some point within our lifetime. Squirrel Tribe. If you do it, you send me that deck list, and I'll just be like, all right, this is my deck.
Alright.
I mean, the other biggie, like I say,
tribal
is
decks.
goblins. You can draft very heavily into goblins. They've reprinted a lot of the good ones with War Chief and Ringleader, Pile Driver. So, even Goblin General they reprinted, which...
Ooh, Orchestra deck is pretty.
Yeah.
I like
So, I'm actually looking forward to this. Really, it's going to come down to how well can you combo out so quickly.
Yeah, it could. There's certainly combo decks you can draft. I don't think that's the entire format, though. But it
Or
doesn't seem
how
that-
can you draft just something stupidly just powerful.
Yeah, I mean, like, the power level's really high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not cube high, certainly, but it's...
But there's a set of archetypes that you and me were talking about earlier. You guys can draft artifacts.
I would...
Get a Karn
Yeah.
and draft artifacts. Go.
Like, Tolarian Academy's in here. The Moxen are, but they're like the super rare or special rare or whatever.
Yep.
So, you can't really expect to get one. Same with stuff like Library of Alexandria. Like, some of these cards are just sort of too insane. I think Sol Ring is pretty uncommon, though.
Yep, Soul Ring is uncommon.
Or, I don't know, that's what it says here. Like, it's the Commander version, so I don't know. Maybe it's not
No,
that.
they've actually said it's going to be uncommon.
It's uncommon?
Yep.
Okay.
So you should see one, maybe
yeah.
two.
Yeah, well, I mean, whoever gets this can first pick it.
Yeah.
It's too good. There's like a lot of really good artifacts. If you get all the artifact rep you want, then yeah, you can run like the artifact plus Armageddon deck.
Yep.
Just like, all right, I got Mana Vault and 2 Sol Rings, and so I'm fine for mana, and I'm playing Karn. I'm hitting with my other artifacts. You, on the other hand, have no lands. Haha. And then you win.
It's actually a deck, guys. You laugh. Yeah.
Oh, I know. Dude, I want to draft it. Like,
Oh, I know.
I want to force artifacts all day long. I did that in Modern Masters. I do that in Cube. I'm gonna do that here. If I have the chance to first pick Karn, it's gonna happen.
It is. You know what? I just saw we have a question in chat. We could go into that really quick because a lot of people are going to ask that since it goes on sale tomorrow.
Okay.
Is the
Well,
modern
I wasn't sure if you were done with vintage because
I can sidetrack for a
so
second.
I can stop
for
talking
people.
about
Oh
vintage.
no, yeah, we're gonna have the argument again. So I mean,
We are. That's what
We
I
are.
even made that point. Like
So,
Brandon and I are sort of agreeing on this, while Pat is of a different mindset. So
I mean-
Pat, why don't you take it away with
alright,
your
so
thoughts?
modern
on it?
event deck. Is it worth buying if you've never played modern and you play standard? Yes.
okay, we convinced him.
We
No,
did,
it's
finally.
it's basically going to give you an easy way just to basically sleeve something up and go.
Yeah,
And they give you sleeves too, so it's even easier, you know.
they're special.
They are.
So,
No, so
I mean,
yeah.
yes, it is worth it. In my opinion, would I rather just save up my money and put something together? Yes, but if you want to get into it now, buy the event deck. The
All right.
sad part is, the event deck, there's going to be very minimal amounts. Even with our store being an advanced level 3 store, I think we got like 4 of them coming. And that's all we're getting.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, if you have the opportunity to buy one, I would buy it.
Yes.
Even if not, like, just for the value, like, so if you want to
You
open
broke
it
it
and use all
down.
those cards, which
Yeah.
I kind of do, like, there's some really sweet stuff in there, then you can do
Mhm.
that, or you can just buy one and hold on to it. It's going to be worth way more than $100 eventually.
Yep.
So, like, if so few have been printed, you buy it, hold on to it for a while. People are like, hey, you know what was cool? That thing. I want one. So then they'll buy it off you and have it sit on your shelf. So it's a collector's item, and the cards inside are actually worth a good deal of money. I counted it out. It's $210, and you're paying like 85 for it or something.
Yep.
It's
75.
it's like 75 for pre-order right now.
Yeah.
So.
So
Yeah, I'm not saying I was not saying it's a bad value. I'm just saying it.
No, you didn't like it.
I'm
That's
not
what
a
you
fan
said
of
last
what they've
week.
put in it.
no, I'm
That's-
holding you to what
You
you said.
did
You
not
said
like
not buy it. You're like, no, don't
Well,
want
I'm not
this.
buying it. No, I'm not.
No,
You told
but
everyone to not buy it.
for if you're not really into modern and you're looking to get into modern, this is a great deck to branch from. To start with something like this that you can sleeve it up and go and play it in a modern tournament, and
Yep.
you know you will be able to learn the modern format with it, and then you can decide, oh, you know what? There's great pieces that I can just make Soul Sisters. There's great pieces I can go for that, black white tokens, or I can just branch out into something completely different now. And it's a very solid starter event deck that you can play at your tournaments at your local store for modern.
Yep.
Yeah, and if you do want to go black white tokens, like the cards that you're gonna add to it aren't insanely expensive. Like you're gonna want Thoughtseize and stuff, and if you're in standard, you probably have those. You can add dual lands. Most of them aren't too expensive. Like the cheapest fetch land is the one that you'd want for this deck.
Exactly.
I still don't think you really need it. Like we talked about it. This is part of the reason I think they did it this way. I still think Merfolk would have been the best pick, but whatever.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
Merfolk would have
it
been
is
really
certainly
solid.
expensive.
There's
It's
a
just
few
like
others.
some of those cards in Merfolk are cheap, and then you don't have to run fetches. You just run Mutavaults, and then they could have reprinted Mutavault.
Mutavaults and Cavern
I
of Souls is the
cheaper.
only
Well, that's- I
land
was hoping to
other
see
than
them-
Island, so
Honestly, I was hoping to see them reprint Cavern. So
I don't think Cavern's a big deal. Like it's
Cavern's only like $20.
yeah, it's 20. Mutavaults are like
Oh.
40 in standard. That's insane.
Yeah.
$40 cards in standard are not common, especially ones that are stayed this expensive for that long. Like, jeez.
Well, because they're used in like every deck, like
Yeah, exactly. And they're used in other formats as well.
right?
Oh,
No,
it's
but 75
$30
bucks.
now.
30. Oh, sweet, pick them up.
Oh,
I got my playset. That's all I care about. One of them being foil.
Yeah.
So
No, but I do like the modern event deck. It's got
Come by.
got some goodies in there.
Elspeth's sword, pretty good.
yeah, swords. Swords only gonna go up. That's the thing. Sword right now. Which one is that? Fire and Ice. That's in the deck.
No, Feast and
It's
Famine.
Feast and Famine.
Feast and Famine.
Because so many people run green in modern anyway, so
Yeah, I feel like Feast and Famine is the best sword. Untapping your
Yes.
lands is just insane tempo.
Yeah.
Fire and Ice is really good. It's like, yeah, I get a draw a card. Alright, sure. If you want to play two swords, you can play one of each. But, yeah,
Feast
I
and
just want that Feast and Famine.
I just want that feast.
I just want that Feast and Famine.
So other than that, it is worth it to get into it. So
All right,
Alright.
we've successfully changed Pat's mind.
no, I have.
No,
Deny it all you want. We've got the
We're gonna
VODs.
hold
We
you.
know. We
Yeah.
know the truth.
we know. Yeah, we can just go watch the VOD.
Whatever.
Mr. Event Deck is bad. Jeez. Alright,
Whatever.
Subminage.
Go away.
He's just jealous.
Go away.
You don't mean that.
I don't need you anymore.
Wow.
So rude.
He's feeling like top dog now. He beat you 2-1.
Yeah, man. What is this? You won me.
Yup. So other than that, really, I could go more into vintage, but I feel like the people are going to play it more are not your normal, new players. Because vintage, I think they're putting it at what, $7 a pop.
Yeah, it's Modern Masters price.
Yeah. So it's going to be like
That's
a $21 draft or $26 draft or whatever.
I think, yeah, they did like that insane price for Modern Masters.
Yeah.
Honestly, guys, just play Phantom. You don't need these cards.
No,
Specifically
unless
need,
you are like seriously thinking about playing Vintage on Magic Online, then which I don't.
I mean,
I don't-
if you get lucky enough and you pull a dual land, you're going to get about half of what it's worth, or like 2/3 of what it's worth, and so you'll break even. Because the dual lands right now, even the good ones, go for like $40.
Right, so they're gonna go down by quite a bit. It's
Yeah.
So like, I don't even know if you're gonna make back your draft if you get a dual land, and then you have to first pick a dual land. So it's not great. I honestly like truly believe that most people should just go Phantom. You still get Phantom points, so if you like win your draft or whatever, you still can just draft again for free. But the initial cost is like $6 instead of 26. And honestly, like getting the chance of getting a Jace, or I mean not even a Jace. Jace isn't that much either. The chance of getting like
No, Mind Sculptor's not
Force
that
of
much.
Will. Yeah, like Force of Will is one of the cards. Burning Insignia might be one of the cards. I'm not sure if it's played in Vintage or not, but it's like super expensive. So the chance of getting one of those cards isn't really worth the initial investment. You're gonna feel bad if you open one. You're like, oh no, I guess I missed out like $200. Yay! But you're gonna spend $300 less, not trying to do one. So just go Phantom.
Nope. I definitely agree with you. Phantom is the way to go for the players that want to try it, but not.
Yeah, don't need the cards.
Yeah.
Also, just go Goblins.
it's more fun that way.
If you don't first pick Goblin Goon, I'm gonna hurt you.
Go Goblins. I actually think Goblins would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Goblins would be sweet.
So other than that, like I said, I just didn't want. I wanted to jump into it, but I didn't want to like break it down a ton. I just want to let you know that there is definitely archetypes to look for, like goblins, and you can go with almost an artifact type feel.
I mean, first pick range permit always.
Yeah, you can go squirrels.
If you don't go squirrels, I'll have to be very upset with you. There's two squirrel cards in the entire set. It's an archetype.
You can do it.
You can do it too. I can go squirrels, and so can you.
Other than that, yeah, modern event deck definitely coming out. The regular event deck hit Monday or Tuesday, was it this week?
Yeah, the blue-red one.
It's definitely different. They're trying to push Keranos. You can tell that. So.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to push red blue because nobody plays it.
It's you know what though? After the turn, it could be a thing.
The red blue could be sweet.
Yeah, with what they've put out, that could be your control right there. Is a red blue control.
I think you still need some kind of like better card draw. Like, okay, sure, like divination is in the format, so clearly blue is okay, but like past that, unless they reprint opportunity, there's no good enough card draw spell that's in blue, which is so weird. Usually it's like, oh man, I want to draw cards, can't go blue. Now it's like, I want to draw cards, better go green. I'll play Corsair Crufix and Eidolon of Blossoms. Sweet.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
It is what it is. So I mean, other than that, new decks, guys that are watching, please, if you guys want to see a deck for the verses, do it. Tell us. Send us a message here or go to YouTube
or Twitters.
Yep. Because thanks to our sponsor, CardHoarder.com, we can definitely provide
anything for standard.
Anything for standard, and we can provide a good show. And we'd love you guys to come on and chat with us, me and Brandon, as we basically punch each other with haymakers like we did last week or this week.
Man, you gotta get on this. I was gonna message you and then I never did, but Eventually, we're gonna do versus.
Eventually, people are going to try to play Mazen, and they're all going to lose and get
Oh
mad,
man.
and it's going to
Yeah.
be great. It's going to be great.
You know, I'll let you play Miz versus me if you want. I think I can do that.
I just need to get the Kioras online.
They're
Oh, yeah.
cheap now. They're
I
like
think that's- I
they're
think-
like $9
I think
now.
the Kiora and the what's that centaur that lets you gain life when you play a land? What's her face?
Of course, sir.
That one are the only ones that I don't have for Magic Online for my Mazen for that. So
Oh man. Alright, so there's no Kioras in stock on Star City, but they're $15. I think that we should be buying these.
the Kioras as well.
Yeah, eventually they're gonna go down to like maybe. Well, you know they're out of stock. I don't think they're gonna go down again. So buy Kioras. They're 15. They're gonna go up. Like in next standard, they could be another card that goes to 30. But
Right.
anyway.
Hey,
Completely
is this words from Random?
Words
Yeah,
from Brand. Pick up them
I mean-
planeswalkers that are going to be staying in standard
Pretty
post
much.
rotation. It's
Just
kind
buy planeswalkers when they're not as much as they should be. Like Senegos, $6. Get like 10 playsets.
all the
I actually am not arguing with that one.
Yeah, I mean, see with Ashiok. Ashiok, like, okay, so if I learned anything from the first time I've ever had to pay attention to money when a set rotated, it's that planeswalkers go up even if they're bad. So,
Yeah.
if you buy all the planeswalkers beforehand and then get rid of them all right away, you made money, and then you traded for a bunch of your staples. Like, it's not even difficult. Just do it. Do it.
Easy. Easy.
I can't argue with that logic at all because Magic Online Cure is like $7 right now.
Yeah, you just get those.
So
Well, I don't know. I don't know much about online, but I know in paper.
no, in paper
that's
I've got my
pretty
playset of her. So
Yeah. It's like a good card to just have. I think Kiora is a card that could break out at pretty much any moment as like a powerhouse in standard. So, like, that's the kind of card you just want to look at and have a bunch of. Like, Ashok's the same way. I don't think Xenagos is. Like, he does really cool stuff, but he doesn't do anything just ridiculous like Kiora. So I don't think he can get as expensive. He's still going to be pricey, though. He's a planeswalker.
I agree with you. I think honestly it's gonna get just to the point where you definitely want them around, and they're just gonna jump again because look at Jace when things Innistrad rotated.
Yeah.
Jace went from like $5 to like 40.
Yep.
And that's when you go, oh wow.
I guess I should have bought those.
Yeah, that's when you go. I guess I should have bought Jace's.
Yep. Anyway, I think I guess we're done, right?
I think we're good for the night.
Yeah. Just a quickie.
Nice quick show.
1 hour.
Hey, it will go up on YouTube tomorrow, so guys,
Yes.
please, watch.
Rate and subscribe. Wait a second.
But Brandon, go ahead and close it out for us.
Yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter. I tweet when I do things. And I'm talking to Curran. I already talked to him a bit. I can hopefully figure out what the hell's wrong with my streaming. Like, it's just bad. Every time I've tried to record/stream anything, the quality's been just completely awful. So, Curran is going to help me.
Good.
Isn't
Yeah.
he a Magic fan?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
I'll ask him tomorrow because I'm going to be working with him tomorrow.
Oh, are you?
Yep.
Say hi for me.
Easy.
Heart, Curran. Anyway, yeah, I'm good. I'll throw my Twitter in the chat.
In the chat there.
In the chat.
As per usual with Brandon there. But so I am Nan Man, or the real Nan Man, as you'll see me all over the interwebs. I mainly do StarCraft casting still, and I'm kind of very much sucked into Modern right now, so that's usually what you'll hear me be talking about, and hopefully we'll be able to do some Modern videos in the near future for you guys to be able to enjoy. But yeah, tomorrow I'll be doing some casting of a North American-based tournament. If you guys want to tune in, check all that stuff out. You can.
Is it breaking out?
No, Breaking Out's done. Season ended.
Oh, is it?
Yep,
Okay.
that was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago for
right.
that.
I missed it. Sorry, Ravi. I was going to
No,
watch.
it's the Zowie NA event.
Oh,
Zowie's
okay, yeah.
helping out. So Curran and I are going to be working on it. Tempo, I think, is going to be casting with me as well. So yeah, if you just check out my Twitter, you'll know when I'm going to be going live with stuff. And again, I've been streaming and playing a lot of Heroes of the Storm, so you'll probably see a lot more of that too if you guys are interested in Blizzard's MOBA. You can see some of that because it's in alpha right now. But that's going to do it for me. Pat, what about you?
Just hit the follow button here, guys, or follow me at YourPatMcLean on Twitter. Or just go to youtube.com/State of the Gathering. You can find all of the VODs there from this show. Also, I'm going to try to go live more often. It's been a little hectic. But with our new sponsorship, cardhoarder.com, I'm going to have all sorts of cards I can have access to, and I'm going to hopefully start streaming some more stuff. Because I would like to start doing more standard events for y'all, and have long talks and long walks on the beach with y'all.
Yeah.
So, because I have to get prepped for, basically August is going to be the start of like my busy. I'm trying to become a Magic Pro again. So.
Yeah, be busy.
Your runs?
I got close. I was starting to win a lot, so.
That's cool.
I want to actually see if I can actually go head to head with a lot of the big names. So. We'll see.
Good luck.
Hey, I'll be around your area, so.
Yeah, you guys can actually meet.
Yeah.
Finally.
So other than that, guys,
Come to
hit
the
the follow
States.
button. We will see you guys next week. If I do not turn the stream on before then, with Versus on Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Me versus Brandon. Tell us the deck you want to see. Again, thanks for watching, guys, and have a great night.